morning. Welcome to practice. We're going to start laying down and have a blanket. I just make a little long strip with my blanket. Not too high, unless you're pretty tall. And that's to go underneath the shoulder blades. And if you put your arms out from your shoulders, you'll feel the blanket is just lining up with your arm. Just under the middle section of your back. And if you wiggle so your shoulder blades are tucked nicely up towards your back rib, then you've got a perfect shape for your lungs and your ribs. And check in that the back of the neck doesn't feel compressed. And if it does, if it feels like the head's really hanging down towards the floor, put another something under your head. Or maybe your blanket is too thick, too high. And we'll start off with legs in neutral. So you might notice that it feels like the spine is in a back bend. And even though we're affecting a back bend in the middle back, the lower spine is also in that curve to accommodate this shape. Feel around behind your neck. You know that bone at the base of the neck that pokes out? You might notice that it's more embedded now. It's not poking out behind you. Essentially, we've overcorrected the shape of the spine. We've embedded the bones of the spine further forward. And let your body relax around that shape. It's a new shape, even though we've practiced it before. It's not a shape the body will naturally go to when we stand or laying down. So we're overcorrecting. Just with the breath now, letting yourself understand this overcorrection, this feeling of the bones, the openness of the heart center and the rib cage. Notice where your body might resist the shape, the equipment a little. Noticing the cautiousness of the body. Let yourself give in to the shape. With every breath. Mm-hmm. We're going to roll over to the left side and take your right arm and reach over to your left hand. So we're going to be rolling that part of the spine across the blanket. Roll over to your right side. Reach your right arm out. Reach your left arm across and palm to palm. Take it slowly and feel the effect on the rib cage, those little joints between the ribs and the spine. Use the core of the body to help with the lift of the leg. Massaging the middle back. One more cycle. Good, last side to the right, and then we're going to come back onto the blanket, center, finding stillness again, and just relaxing the body. Feeling the volume of breath, satisfaction. Beautiful. Let's roll over to the right side and come up into an all fours position. You don't need your blanket now, but just bring the muscle memory with you. And we're going to make some forward and back wave movements with the spine. Maybe have a bit bigger distance between your hands and your knees, and be prepared to move your whole body. Finding suppleness, the subtle movement of the spine, and the satisfying breath. Feel the ground, the floor, beneath your hands, your knees, feet. The lift of the body. The lightness, the sky boundness, and the groundedness, and the satisfying breath. Bring your elbows to the floor and knees back a little. And we're going to bring the chest towards the front of the leg so that you can rest your forehead onto the floor. Letting the spine embed towards the front of the body. Grounded. Expanding and lengthening with the breath. Good. Shoulders over the elbows. Walk the knees back a little further and be in a supported plank posture here. So if you bring your hips close to the floor but not onto the floor, you'll feel the core of the body working. Lift the front core. Find the satisfying breath and embed the bones of the spine forward. Look forward. Beautiful. And then lengthen your torso as you lay your front down onto the floor. Take your arms back beside you, palms up. Oh, enjoying each breath. Lifting your torso now, looking forward, lifting your arm. Reach the fingertips back, lift the left. Kalambasana. Beautiful. Laying down. Turn your face to the right cheek. bend in your left leg and reach back and take hold of your left toes. And you're going to gently bring the foot towards the left buttock, the heel towards the left hip. Particularly give the toes a stretch. So try to hold the top of the toes and curl them down towards your hip. Good. And then lifting up your head, turning to look right and resting your head again. And just resting. Good. Right leg bends in and reach back and take hold of your toes and hold the top of your toes and see if you can curl them down towards the right hip. Just relax. Feeling the breath, even though we've got some impediment of the ribs against the floor. See how strong the breathing is. The life force. Beautiful. And releasing that side. Good. Let's try both together. So bring your head onto your forehead and see if you can curl in both legs and hold the front of the toes. And then we'll curl the toes down towards the hips. So if you can't reach both together, just do one at a time. And then we're going to hold the front of the ankles and lift the breastbone, lift the thighs, looking forward. Take the feet back. Ah, and release. Relax your shoulders. Relax your head to one side. Lift your head gently, turn to the second side. Just letting go. Beautiful. Onto your forearms, so elbows under the shoulders. And lift your hips again. Maybe walk the knees forward a little. So lifting the hips just off the floor. Front core of the body engaged. Embed the bones of the spine forward and look forward. And then we're going to lift the hips up. Maybe you need to walk your knees forward and take the chest towards the front of the leg again. And find that feeling of exaggerating the movement of the bones of the spine, moving into the front torso. Finding the breath. And then downward facing dog pose. Let the shoulders be as wide as they can. We're going to press the heels down, lift the kneecaps, the sit bones. Beautiful. Feel each fingerprint grounded. The thumbs, the index finger, the balls of the feet, and the heels, even if they're in the air, heading towards the ground. Send the hips skyward. Good. Shoulders come forward. And then both knees evenly to the floor. And child's pose. Child's pose. With your arms resting beside you. If it's more comfortable to have them under your forehead, do that. And let the shoulders be wide. Finding your satisfying breath. Walk your hands forward now for forward virasana. Lengthening as much as you can. Relaxing the neck. And we're going to walk the hands over to the left-hand side of the mat. Go as far as you can with your right arm so that you feel that stretch in the right side of your torso, your waist. Good. Put the back of your left hand down on the floor, so just turn the palm up. Put your right hand on, so palms together, and turn your torso now. So you're lifting your heart up towards the ceiling. We'll try to keep the hips down, but lifting the ribs. Good, and then release and come back through center. Find your center. And then walking the hands over to the right side. Go as far as you can with your left hand. Feeling the stretch in your left shoulder, left lower back. Keeping your neck nice and long. Finding the breath. Beautiful. Turn your right palm up to the ceiling. Take your left palm onto your right palm. And then lifting your left ribs. Looking under your left arm. Lifting the heart, opening the heart. Try to keep the left hip down. Keep breathing. And then turning back to the floor and come back to center. Oh, letting yourself really reach the bones of the spine, embedding forward. Beautiful. Downward facing dog pose. Ground the fingertips, base of the index finger. Lift the hips. Ground the heels. Good. Swing your hips to the right and let them hang there for a couple of breaths. And come back to center. And swing your hips to the left and let them hang there for a couple of breaths. Beautiful. And back to center. Let's do that again. To the right. Back to center. And to the left. And back to center. And really press the heels down now. Broad shoulders and collarbones. Hips lifting. Head just hanging down. Nice work. And we're going to walk the feet forward. Now, as you do that, take the opportunity to really play with your feet. So pad them. Try to stretch right across and right along the length of the feet. Breadth and length. Good. And you take as many steps as you can before you run out of room. Come up to standing when you need to. It's going to be a really hot day here today. Keep an eye. easy pace to the practice. Tadasana, feet under your hips. I'm going to take the arms out from the shoulders, palms up, little circle. Now what we're trying to do with these circles is not how many, but how beautiful they can be, and try to reach into the back of your range of motion. Of course, we tend to shy away from what feels difficult or awkward. Let's explore that, the beauty of that. The difficulty. And we want to try and keep the neck feeling relaxed here. See if you can feel the work more in that space between the shoulders, between the shoulder blades. Try to keep lifting the little fingers. Ooh. We want that sense of muscular fatigue. Beautiful. And then release the arms, palms facing out, Tadasana. And then keep your upper arms facing out and just turn the arms in. Feel the shape of your spine. Maybe the neck tensed up a little with that lifting of the arms. So let's relax the shoulder blades. Mountain pose. Feet grounded, supported by your floor, building. So head skyward, reaching skyward. We're going to take a tree pose. Bring the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. Balance on your left foot and lift up onto your right tiptoe. And we're just going to turn the right knee out, but keep your hips facing forward. Good. And then you can be playful and see if you can take your toes off the floor. Maybe you can, and you can rest your foot near your ankle or under your knee or even over your knee. And be prepared to let the left foot, the one we're standing on, wobble, to be resilient, agile, catching the wobbles as they arrive. We're going to take the arms up and really lift the ribs. Feel the bones of the spine embedding forward. Beautiful. We're going to wave the trunk a little from side to side, just like a graceful tree. Resilient, strong, grounded, and reaching. Much. And then come back to Tadasana. Arms turn out, arms in. Feet under the hips. Feel the lift in the front of your body. The reaching down of the shoulder blade. Good. We're going to balance on the right foot this time and lift up onto your left tiptoe. Finding your balance. Good. Turn your left knee out at 90 degrees or as far as it'll go. Be curious about whether you can take your toes off the floor And if you can, you might be able to rest your foot. Always keep your toes on the floor. Finding your foothold. Not to say on the first side, but if you squeeze the buttock muscles towards each other, you get a stronger use of the whole core of the body. So we're lifting the front lower abdomen. We're feeling strong in our trunks. Beautiful. And agile in our foot and leg. And arms up. And reaching. Shoulder blades down, neck relaxed. Good. And then gentle swaying of the trunk from side to side. Feeling the lift, the agility, the recapturing of balance, even if you lose your balance. Hands in front of your heart. Release your foot. Tadasana. Mountain. Feeling ourselves part of the whole. The trees, the mountain, the earth, sky. We're going to turn the feet out now. Take a little bit wider than your hips with your heels. Toes out. And let's practice a little bit of a squat. And especially if you're vulnerable in your knees, you don't have to go that far, but you can work really well by lifting your quadriceps, lifting the pelvic floor, lifting the lower front abdomen. We'll have the hands in front of the heart. So you're going to take your sit bones as close to the floor as you can without your heels coming up. So that might be a little way or a long way. But then lift up a little bit from where you got to, so you're holding and you're lifting the pelvic floor. Nice. Press into your heels so you can really feel your legs when you come up. Very nice. Finding your breath. And we don't have to overdo anything. So we're just feeling what the knees need, what is nourishing in the movement that you take. So again, feet stay on the floor, heels stay on the floor. And then explore your squatting. Go to where your body can, and then lift up a little from there and hold and lift the pelvic floor, the lower front abdomen. Beautiful. And pressing into your heels, we try and come up evenly. You might find that you favor one leg. All right, we're going to do one more of those. You can try bringing your feet closer if you like, but it might be more difficult. So just, you can be curious. Toes turned out tends to be easier on the knees, but you can have parallel feet if you like. Arms or hands in front of the heart. Squatting as far as your knees allow, keeping your heels on the floor. And then lift up a little from there. Holding, lifting the pelvic floor, lifting the belly. Beautiful. Press into your heels to lift up nice strong legs. I love it. And we're going to sit down, and you can practice sitting without using your hands, or sit as any way that feels good, feels wide. So that last little bit for me, and pretty much for everybody, is the bit where I would just want to fall down. I'm just going to warm up my feet a little bit and see if that helps. Almost. So we'll sit with the blanket folded under the hips. So fold the blanket on the other end, so you've got a pillow shape. we're going to make a spinal wave forward and back. So we're going to explore our forward movement. Let's focus the movement from the heart center of the body. So as you move forward, bring the heart center further forward. And then as you start to wave back, take the corresponding back spine back as far as you can. So those places in the body are reaching to the horizon, forward and back. And feel the whole spine follow. Feel the energetic flow through the spine. Beautiful. And then come back to sitting up. And let's do the same thing side to side and try to keep the movement focused on those bones of the spine around the heart. So where we began the practice of the spine over the blanket, focusing on that part of the body, on appreciating its suppleness. I'm getting so many little cracks. You can do this treatment, the forward, the back treatment. We can make circles. And you can focus on every single bone of the spine. It would take a while. Just thinking about that particular part of our back in this practice. And we'll come back up. Ready. We're going to take Garudasana. And I love how this pose, let's do right over left. If you can't quite grab your thumb or face your palm, embrace your shoulders. We're going to lift the elbows up away from the floor, but shoulder blades down. And it should feel like your neck is long and no impediment there to movement. Let's make a back bend, and particularly that part of the spine we've been focusing on, between the shoulder blades. Bring that forward. And we're going to try and wave the body forward now with the arms here in Garudasana. So forward and back, and forward and back. Now you can keep waving. If you find that more effective for your forward bend, do that. If you love the feeling of reaching forward and holding, then you're going to do that. Finding your breath. Good. And then coming up, we're going to swap the arms and swap the legs. Left over right. Shoulder blades down, neck very easeful. Lovely. And then waving the spine forward. And then you decide, you either keep working with the wave, you like that feeling for your forward bend, or reach forward as far as you can and hold. Good. Releasing. Nice work. Ooh. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Cross your legs the other way. Sukhasana twist. and integrating mind, following the instruction, body, listening to the response, and breath. Find your potential. Beautiful. Keep your twist. Take your left arm up by your right ear. We're going to lift the right rib and lean them out, or reach them out over your right thigh. You're going to reach as far as your body is comfortable with. We try to keep both sides of the waist long. If you have a lot of movement here, you can head your shoulder down towards the floor in front of your right. Mm. And then coming up, we'll swap the cross of the legs. Feel the flow of breath. Find your turn, your twist. Listen to what the body is saying. Finding your potential. Beautiful. Right arm lifts up. And then we're going to lift the left wrist and reach them over the left leg. And you keep both sides of your waist long, the sides of the neck long. Reach as far as you can and keep opening the heart towards the ceiling. If you have a lot of movement, you can head your shoulder, left shoulder towards the right knee. Sorry, left knee. Left shoulder, left knee. But opening the heart and breathing. Mm. And then inhale and come up. We just have time to lay down. Feel the shape of the spine supported by the floor. Lift your hips and slide on the skin between your shoulder blades. I love that movement. Feel what that does for your upper back. And then when you place your hips back down, lift your tailbone so your spine is long. So we were exaggerating the bones of the spine embedding forward with the blanket underneath. But here we get to just feel the alignment of sacrum, shoulder blades, back of the head. And again, if it feels like you're squashing the back of your neck to reach the floor, put a pillow underneath. We can do this with the legs bent, which is very neutral for the spine, or even just legs straight. And give the weight of your body to the floor. In appreciation for this support. Finding your center, your stillness, or a deep breath. You are able to stay here in Shavasana. Do so. Namaste. Like me, you need to finish your practice. We're going to bend in the arms and the legs. We could just stay all day, wouldn't it? And coming up to sitting. Hands in front of your heart. Oh. And take the feeling of the practice with you. And namaste. A big thank you to John for supporting the recording of these classes all year. And this is the last live Zoom session, but there are so many classes for free on YouTube. Please use them over the break from live classes. And I'm going to have a holiday.